Okay. Hello, everyone. Oh, sorry. This is me, Guillaume. I'm joined with Rosalie, aka the Crypto Queen. This is the Stop Losing, Start Trading show where we go over the news, of course, but also the markets, how options can be part of your own portfolio strategies, and how do we react to what the Fed chair says that seems to make everyone happy. Nothing we say is financial advice, but feel free to listen to what we say. Reach out if you have questions. And yeah, nothing we say. You should not do any of what we say without doing your proper research first. On that note, how are you doing today, Rosalie?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I think the market's looking up today. There was a really sudden spike, which took me by surprise, but that's okay. I'm excited, so yeah.
Yeah, we put on a trade on Wednesday, or at least maybe Monday, but we were a bit bearish. But that's fine. It was a defined risk. We can have a look. For me, I was also somewhat neutral, and which is great. The price is moving, but not beyond my comfort zone. So this is how I like to trade when it's monthly options. Means that you have a lot of freedom. It's plus or minus 30% in terms of price move. 10% move doesn't affect you too much. But yeah, I was exploring also some strategies. Maybe we'll cover this, but uh, this is very exciting. We can look at the markets, but then the crypto markets going up, but also the regular boomer markets have also been going up. So this is kind of the how markets have responded very sharp price up. This happened over the past few hours. I think at 10 a.m. ish is when Jerome Powell started his speech and went up 10%. This is very sudden. Um, if you go back, it's definitely kind of significant, almost touching the all-time high, near the top that it was over the past week. Necessarily, definitely very close to what it was over the past month. Do you think we have some juice left? Do we keep going, Rosalie, or it's gonna revert back?
I think it's gonna revert back, but who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing. We were discussing also off chain, but offline. But the problem is that when you're directional, you can be right, you can be wrong, but then it's hard to be consistently right. It's almost like a coin flip sometimes. And when you do this, then it's hard to know. And then when we have a movement like that, I'm always skittish. This is why volatility expands. No one knows what to do, so they are not as forward. Actually, I don't know if the even actually just let's do a quick turnaround, but um, the Volmex index, where we can have the volatility of Ethereum. I don't know if it's as sudden. Oh, actually, interesting. So this is the Ethereum volatility index, and if you look at the last few hours, the sudden move on the upside in the long delay, actually, or maybe it's UTC, but was matched with a downward move on the volatility. So this is
Interesting.
actually, yeah, or maybe this might be UTC, but yeah, when the price goes up, what does the volatility do? In that specific case, it went down. Sometimes we see it goes up, but this is also telling you about how the market is responding, meaning that there's less fear. People trade, goes up. You don't necessarily sell. You don't do anything. You just stop trading, and this is how volatility can decrease as a result. So ETH, even though it's going down, yeah, it's within the range, but it may be on the lower end of what we've seen over the past few months. It's not too bad. Yeah, it goes back and forth. Nothing major here. We can have a look at the BVIV, which is Bitcoin. If you remember Bitcoin, yeah, this one was deeply repressed over the past few months. Also, I've seen a sharp drawdown as the move has been released. Interesting to say, but yeah. Um, how do you feel about so Bitcoin? Yeah, if you remember, I said what if it goes down? There's a different trade that you can do, but yeah, would you be inclined to trade Bitcoin now or?
Yeah, definitely. I think if I remember correctly, low volatility is good for buying.
Yes, to some extent. The low volatility mean that options will be cheap and it's not guaranteed. But if it's cheaper and if it's on the lowest it's been over the next year, The only direction you can go is maybe higher.
Mhm.
So even though you don't have any directional bias, the volatility expanding, increasing from where it was. I mean, it works until it doesn't. If it's going
Right.
down for the past 5 months, maybe six, seven, could last for years. So you don't count on that. But at least repressed volatility environment has a uh, more risk maybe to see expansions. It's by buying options that you would capitalize on this. In equities, it's the same thing. When the volatility is low, you and when you're selling options, I actually reduce my exposure. I trade less just because if it does explode, I'm okay making less money over a few months than trying to catch this and lose a lot if I'm wrong. So
Mhm.
that when there's a big move, Bitcoin goes back below 100K, now chaos comes in, then you can be selling options and capitalize on that increased volatility.
That makes sense, yeah. Hopefully, I mean, yeah, I think Bitcoin's probably gonna go back down again sometime soon. Maybe by the end of the year, we'll see kind of a different range. But yeah,
Yeah,
right now
because
it's looking good.
the move that we've seen is barely a blip. I guess we've seen this go from Bitcoin go from 123. Again, this was the all-time high, I guess. So all-time high was not long ago. We're already close to 10% lower than this. This big made it back to maybe 8%. But yeah, Bitcoin, low volatility, less action. Ethereum, the alts, I guess, is where is going. Very excited about seeing the price move. It's all pumping, I guess. So this is kind of what
I
it
keep
does.
hearing that all coins, all coins. I'm not seeing it in my wallet, but
Yeah, you hold some chain link and price went up. I'm sure it probably does not go as high. Yeah, so it's following the lead. If I were to look at the price of Chainlink in terms of
mm,
ETH, I think the purple, yeah, it did not budge with the move. So ETH, Chainlink went up at the same pace, stayed flat. So yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, it was pretty. The altcoins, DeFi protocols, DeFi tokens were quite hot in 2021, 2022. I don't know if people are realizing that it's like less of a positive value capture or it's not clear what these tokens do. ETH, Bitcoin, even Solana, it's running the network, which is great. But here, Chainlink, to some extent, Uni, it's people, it's protocol. How do you value those? And yes, they've been hit pretty hard over the past years. Yes, all-time high of with ETH, I guess, but even in price, all-time high of Chainlink was years ago. It's hard to value, so you cannot have a bunch of unicorns if anyone can maybe steal your launch. This is kind of the idea. Could be a different Uniswap that comes around and kind of replicates this and does better. And we've seen it not on chains, but yeah, how do you are you still just holding altcoins or are you investing still?
no, I'm just holding. I think I bought some back in January or February with the goal of selling in May with profit, but uh, haven't sold.
It's fine. Yeah. I mean, you can do covered calls. You can do some of the stuff that says I want to put a target on my price. I'm okay with parting ways with my tokens, and I can earn some yield. That could be. I don't know if we did discuss this, but we haven't done any trade. But that could be one thing we do. All right, options trade always a segue into how Panoptic does some of this. Price going up, PNL is going down. This is your open position PNL. Your value, this is probably not updated to the last day, but value will likely go up, but your PNL has gone down. Um, and we can see it's mostly on that ETH trade. Do you want to have a look?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so this is ETH We're quite bearish. Remember, this was a weekly put spread. Put spread. Um, Buying an option for free, selling another one, earning fees. We were earning fees. Now it's kind of stable or slightly negative. So we did get paid, which is what this was intended to do. But yeah, what do you see here? How do you feel
Uh,
about that?
yeah, I don't feel too good about it, but I think it might revert again. I think we're only a couple days into it. I know it's a weekly option, but I wouldn't close it just yet, honestly.
And yeah, this is fine. There's a lot of liquidity. This is a 5,000 strike for the put option, and technically we start paying if you want. Spread again is very dim, but zero point zero 0.06. So it's actually pretty much nothing. We'll pay $1 or less per day. So we can keep this on because we have overlap between the long and the short. But if we were to go above 4,900, then we would be paying. We'd be wrong directionally, but also wrong in terms of where the price is going to hang out. So I'm also okay in terms of I don't think we'll hit all-time highs in a week. I would still monitor this. There could be a reversal. There could be a back and forth. There is a lot of fees to collect. So we collected in 3 days $50. If you want to maybe recover, we need 20 bucks, $200, four times that. So 12 days from now would mean that we could go back to it, but it might be hard. So I would monitor
Oh,
this. If it's directionally, if we hang in there for another week, maybe we'll be closer to our break evens. If it does revert back to the mint price, which was 4,300, then we'll be in the money because of the fees. But yeah, it's a. I would be careful with it and maybe hold this. Remember, we have some deposits as well, so this is offsetted. But yeah, um, it is what it is. Sometimes when we're directional, it's hard to be right all the time. In that case, we were wrong, but then maybe we'll be right next
the
time.
one time I try to be directional.
Some of the direction were bullish, and it's easier to lose money when it goes down. It's easier psychologically than losing money when it goes up.
Yeah.
No one likes this, and in that case, yes, we were maybe too eager to discount ETH. It's fine. It's going back and forth, and we were quite right, I guess, up to earlier today. So I wouldn't blame it on anyone. This is fine. We can wait a few more days. If it goes back to 4,500 with the fees, we could be closing this for a scratch. So when you make zero profits, it's a scratch. We're gonna have to do this.
Yeah, maybe we could open another position as well. Um,
Would you be bullish to counter that one or neutral to
I
maximize your
would
fees?
do neutral. I'd probably focus on a similar range as this, like between 4,300 and 4,800 or something like
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
and try to collect some fees.
Okay, let's quickly maybe set one up, and also we'll. I wanted to see the ratio trade again. Price has gone up now. Actually, I don't know if Bitcoin or ETH is the one that overperformed, but yeah, we can have a look. Um, this is your whole P&L for that position. If you include the deposit, it's still quite bullish. So we do have most of our deposits. We got forced exercise, and then we were kind of exited forcefully into ETH. Um, do you want to be more bullish than that, or this is still
Um,
good?
no, I think this is good. Maybe just like give us a little bit more leeway on the
Oh,
downside, but just something more neutral.
yeah. Okay, so we can do a neutral trade, and that neutral trade will be collecting fees mostly. A lot of what we see is that the price moving suddenly results in maybe some quiet time afterwards. And if we were at the money, this is very, very neutral. And if you look at the prices, this is a monthly option, but it's between 6,000 and 3,700. So this is a huge, huge range. Um, oh, you can go there. Yes, earn a bit more. This is very neutral, slightly bullish, but very neutral. We can imagine going into a weekly option and also get a similar exposure. But yes, are you okay with setting these boundaries of 3,800 and 6,200, or you would like to be a bit more narrow in your timescale?
Would being more narrow mean we would earn more fees quicker, or
Yes, and the rule of thumb is about twice as much actually. But if the price moves, you have you're in trouble earlier. If that makes sense.
I
So
think
yes, the
6,000 is quite a it's quite a stretch.
yeah, because if we do weekly, we earn, and we have a formula, but we earn about $38 if we earn week. Oh no, it's a different thing. Yeah, $38 in a week versus $65 in a month. So it's about yeah, I don't know, 15 per week on the monthly versus 40 per week on the weekly. So
I think
definitely
we'll
more,
sound more
pack a bigger
attractive.
punch. Now this assumes that we may not go back. So maybe let's do very, very central 4,200 to 5,300.
I could go behind that. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so weekly, definitely hope. I may. Do you want to be a bit bearish too, or are you okay with neutral? Because I do feel that we could revisit 4,200 quite easily.
Hmm.
Uh, do you have a price bound maybe on the downside that could help direct how we want to
I
set it?
was thinking more 3,800.
Okay, so
So
yeah, we
yeah.
can see if this is 3,800, we have kind of a 5K to the upside. 38. This is also bearish, so we could bet. Yeah, we could be um, caught there. No, that's fine. Let's do purely. Has it gone up still? 4,700. Yeah, it's still going up a little bit. So I'm not sure. Price guess is high too. So even if we have this, maybe by the time intern does this, it might be too late. But let's do fully neutral, capitalizing on the sudden increase in activity and try to capture some of the fees. Yeah, depending on the size, we can have a juicy return, but yes, some risk. But yes, let's have this be what intern will look into. I'll paste this on. Oh, there's a different message. Yeah, paste this on YouTube. You can have a look too. And hello, Canberra. Good sunlight.
I know I
Sorry.
feel like a cat like basking in the sunlight. So
Yeah, where are you? Are you in New York or where are you now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in New York. I'm just in the kitchen.
Oh, I love to do live stream in the kitchen. So very cool. I want to quickly look at the ETH BTC, the ratio trade. We've seen the price move. For me, it's a mystery. I'm also eager. Do you think ETH overperformed and the ratio went up, or we're still, or the ratio went down with the?
Um,
Oh,
I think probably ETH is overperforming, but I'm not sure.
yeah. So the ratio over the past day, this spike that we've seen, it's much smaller. It's probably like a I don't know 5% increase as opposed to a 10%, but it did go up. That trade here meant that we are also bullish. We did get some return on that front. Earning fees too, so this is great. Uh, yeah, do you want to maybe close this, or you want to keep it on?
Yeah, I
It's
think
the
we
only
could,
position we have in this market.
yeah, I think we could close it and kind of reopen another ratio trade on Monday probably.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Yeah, we'll see if it's been quiet these days. I feel like Bitcoin is a lot more impacted by the weekend news because this is kind of the bigger market. So we'll have to see. But yes, I would say we can close this and then see on Monday if there's a trade that we can do there.
That sounds good.
All right. So I think that's it. Again, we have a sudden price move. We should not panic because the market is doing some movement. But even if Rosalie's been losing a little bit, she's still earning. We can let this trade kind of carry through. 10% loss. Now 15. It's been going down as we speak. But until we hit 30, 40%, this is when I would close this as a way to limit further losses. Sometimes you're just wrong. You have to live with it. Now 15%. It's still manageable. We're earning fees. So actually, let's see. The IV on Volmex was down with the recent price move. And let's see here. We're still high. Yeah, this is actually quite low. We're still in the higher-ish IV percentile, but we're closing the 50%. So that may also mean we're about to flip, maybe being on the sell side versus buy side.
Okay.
Um, what's the Uniswap liquidity looking like? Interesting. So yeah, the our penalty liquidity was concentrated. Some people are out of range. Uniswap too, but this is also very interesting. So I'd say this seems like a okay market. The big move means that we have to. Oh yes, we have to manage this, but we can wait till Monday for most of these positions. Maybe if intern sees this and over the weekend they feel like they hit 40% loss or maybe 50, then it might be time to close. But for now, I wouldn't be too worried. So,
Okay, sounds good.
all right. Yeah, so we're now going to be joined with Brendan by Brendan, which is on the Friday show. We typically do the best and worst trades. I think we've skipped the few that were either me was on vacation or Brendan, but now we get back. I'm excited to see. All right, there we go, Brendan. Who's winning? Who's losing? The best and worst trade. And maybe we'll do some commentary. But yeah,
Awesome, thank you.
no problem. See you,
Awesome.
Rosalie.
So, welcome to the best and worst trades of the week. We're going to take a look at what you guys have been trading and see if Guillaume can guess first what you're trading that's going to be really bad or good, and maybe analyze the position, give you guys some tips or pointers here and
Yes.
there for options trading. So, yeah, should we jump right into it?
Let's do it. I mean,
Okay.
the J Powell. I don't know if you paid attention. Yes, it seemed like something good is happening, but then if you dig deeper, I think the title said it all. Yeah. What's your take on the recent move that we've seen this morning?
Yeah, I mean, if so, I guess I woke up and I saw there's a big hockey stick movement up in the crypto prices. So the natural thing to do is ask why. Gathering intel from others sounds like Jay Powell may be the cause out here in Wyoming or Jackson Hole. I think the interest rate has been, on top of everyone's mind for a long time. We've seen Trump do everything he can to bring down rates in any manner possible, and everyone has been just waiting for the signal of the Fed really hinting at a change of course. As we know, last year rates were cut by around, I think, 3/4 of a point or something like that, maybe one point. But it hasn't been cut since, and the Fed has been staunchly, very much so, holding it steady ever since. So today is the first time that we see them indicate any sort of any sort of interest in lowering the rates, and that was through their reporting of or mention of the economy and specifically the jobs cooling down, which is a big indicator for or an input for them to make interest rate policy changes. And so jobs cooling down means employment is not as hot, which means that the lever of moving the interest rates down, of course, is now in play. So a lot of people are speculating that we will see some interest rate cuts as soon as the September FOMC meeting, which I think is in about 2 weeks or so. But more importantly, just this shift in course of the overall outlook for the next 6 to 12 months of what the Fed will do, I think has.
Yeah, I get that the Fed cutting the rates helps crypto maybe because crypto is this maybe inflation hedge, or at least it's been booming in low interest rates. But I don't know why stocks are going up again. If the economy is bad, if the job market is cooling, I would expect bad news for stocks. So it's also a bit of a counterintuitive play here. And if you
Yeah.
look at the bonds market, it's reacted as well, but not as much. So typically the bonds are also another signal. And then my view is that the Fed is also following the bonds a little bit, but
Mhm.
it did spike, but it's about the same rate it was maybe a week ago. It was lower than it was early in August. Like the interest rate in early August from the bonds rate seemed to be lower than it is now. So the market is still driving this. So, anyways, I would say that um, good for crypto. The economy being bad, no one wants to be targeted, of course, but I'm not so sure it's going to help.
Yeah, the best case scenario of crypto is just the US dollar implodes and all hell breaks loose in the economy. So
We'll have stable coins, but yes.
it's just a call option
Yeah,
or a put option, I mean. But yeah, so interesting news, of course. But yeah, so we have seen the ETH and Bitcoin price go up. I think like what was it, 6 or 7%? What are we at? We're at 46.54 on ETH, which is 12.28% increase in the last 24 hours.
oh, yes, as we spoke, yeah, it was going up, but it's still going up as we speak. So something is definitely on the bullish side of crypto. It's still gaining.
Yep. So let's take a look at the option trades then. which I did run about an hour ago. So I think this should still be accurate.
We can yes. So we'll visit the live pages too. So unless it's being closed, we'll see how much worse or how much better it is.
That's
Uh,
right. So we're gonna start with base. I do have a couple positions, so we'll actually hit more than just a couple. So we'll go fast and just quickly look over what each one is. Get your hot take on each one or advice. Starting with base, I wanted to go over the best position. So let's just take a stab. If you had to guess, I'll showcase two positions, but what do you think are some of the best positions on base?
yeah, I haven't traded on base too much, but I don't know if there's a lot of liquidity to be purchased. But I think people are big speculators on base. So even if there's one position, someone can buy like $10 worth of calls, and it's still going to be worthwhile because of the gas. So I'd say that the best is buying a call option, um, especially if you took the snapshot an hour ago. And the worst is selling a call. Let's see this.
All right, sweet. Well, let's take a look and see if anyone bought any calls here. Unfortunately, oh wait, that's cheating. Don't look there. Okay, so we have pulled up the best position on base here is actually a short put, which is a bullish position. Similar to buying a call, selling a put is bullish. The price, you want the price to go up. This position has primarily profited based on price appreciation. It was open 2 days ago. It's still open today. At the time, we were at a lowly 41.77 ETH price. We're now at 47.41. So this position has netted 30% P&L in just
Great.
those 2 days.
Great. Yeah. Another way, the selling puts is the easiest way to be directional on Panoptic because you can sell as much as you want. If you're okay with setting your like the lower price targets, in that case, if you don't think it's going to go down, then you can actually, oh, okay, yeah, you can benefit. But yeah, great play. If you're directional, that would have been whatever. If I were directional, I would have done the same thing for sure.
Yeah, they did set a lower price target of 39.76, but price has only gone up since then. So I want to showcase another position that's very similar that also did very good. It's a straddle. Someone sold a straddle with the short put and short
Mhm.
call. So really, my question for you here is because these are two very similar positions that I just showed you. If the price has not reached kind of the center point of the straddle, is there really any difference between these two positions?
Yeah, it's a slightly the peak if you want is slightly lower. You have a put and a call, and you see all the way on the right side, it starts to be negative. So in the middle, the peak is a bit lower, and then I don't know the math. So it might be 10 or 15% lower. So it's not that much, but yes, the first half of the bullish side, if you want, quite similar. It's just increasing it slightly lower because yeah, and then but the fees will be twice as high. So again, they don't, and we can look. They opened this up recently, I'm sure too, right? 3 hours ago. Oh my god, look at this! Talk about timing, but yes, the fees would have been twice as much, and that's the drawback. So slightly less directional exposure, more fee twice as much. This is also bullish because of the way you it has positive bullish deltas if you want, but yeah. Uh, that's also when I'm bullish now. Yeah, when I'm bullish, I'm short put or a offset straddle like this is also another way to do this.
Sweet. Well, yeah, this is an example of a straddle that has been successful due to the actual
And look at the
positioning of the
strikes
straddle.
too. They start losing if it goes above 5,200, which is a great price point for ETH, new all time high. And as long as they stay between that 4 to 5,000, they're getting paid quite a bit. They are bullish. This is a monthly as well, so it's quite larger than the other one. So you have a lot of room for uh, being still in the money and earning fees.
Yep, that's right. And they've already hit it in 4 hours. I don't know if this person is Jay Powell's best friend or neighbor, but somehow they knew something was
So yeah,
going on.
actually, what was the mint price? 40, yeah, 4,200. So this was probably 9:30, right before the start of
Good
the
bet.
yes.
Yeah, I think they knew something was going to happen, and They just weren't sure which way, maybe. But they were convicted. They had conviction that it was going to go up, and it did. So well played. So those are the best trades. Let's jump to the worst trades. I pretend you didn't see anything. What do you think might be some of the worst trades? I have two to feature here on base on
Oh,
the ETH options.
what I saw seemed like a put, but yeah, if you the worst trade, I think, yeah, this is on base as well.
Correct.
All right, let me reverse course and say not buying but selling rather, and setting a call has probably not helped the call seller over the past few hours. And the best one, wait,
Or
two,
just worse. Yeah, I'm showing you. I'm going to show two really bad.
yeah, let's say selling a call or selling a straddle, but on the sell side, where the call component went deeply in the money.
Okay, well, you're right on the call selling. So that is the worst trade for this week. So we have a trade that lost 21%. Unfortunately, it was open 2 days ago and just closed right after Patel did his damage on this position.
Yeah. It did go out of range. It's not out of range now, so it's definitely a good time to close if you're touching one of the boundaries. Uh, it's much less 50-50 chance, I guess. But if you're going the wrong way, it's still going up, then you earn nothing, you're exposed short. 0.5 ETH is now a lot of money. It's still like $2,000. So, yes, definitely they prepaid. This is on base or mainnet?
This is on base.
Yeah, the gas was probably manageable, but I'm looking at the gas on mainnet. It's like 10, 15. Did go up. Closing this would add another $20, $25. So, yes, I would say, unfortunately, maybe it was a covered call. Maybe they had something else. But yes, that one trade definitely did not go for that person.
Yeah, I guess at least they got $20 in Streamia back, so it wasn't as bad as just shorting this as a perp, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Some some consolation, for sure.
Okay, well, I did want to feature this other trade just because I thought it was interesting timing wise. It was opened 5 days ago and closed 4 days ago. The price at the time was 4,500, and then the price went down to 4,300. But if they had kept it open till now, they would be in the profit zone. So this is
so this is a monthly option as well, and monthlies have a lot of maybe forgiveness into them. They were definitely, yeah, okay. So they minted this where the lower strike, lower price was the side thing. So they, yeah. This is extremely bullish. They got spooked by the fact it went down. One thing you can do is to cover yourself. So the risk that you see on the main page, that one position, is definitely one side of the story. But you could have funds in that case if they some extent short, or if they have another position that is negative delta where they sell some ETH. That could help with risk management. We're looking at ways also to make it easier for people on hyperliquid, or if you even run a bot, to look at the delta of your position and automatically hedge. You can imagine that you have a way to kind of nullify this delta. But yes, as a trade, earned $1 of fees but lost $95 in P&L. Definitely not the best trade for that.
Yeah, I guess. Well, as far as timing wise, though, because for both of these positions, kind of they put it near the end of their range because they were very directional, and the price did kind of approach that barrier or pass it, and so they closed it. So that makes sense. But do you have like any non-financial advice?
Yeah, exactly.
For this type.
For sure, if you want to sell puts, try to be on the 50 delta or less, meaning that you have to be in range. And you have to be able to profit if it goes down a little bit through that fee. So now it was minted at probably like 99 delta, which is fully in the money. I would also recommend to be somewhere in the middle or even on the low end side. So you have a cushion on the downside. You earn 25% if it goes beyond your strikes, but then you this is when it's positive. But if it's negative, you have some leeway. So definitely sell this to be in range. Maximizing time in range is fine. Second one, if you had an assumption and you think it's ultra bullish, which is this trade, then yes, follow your assumption. Don't wait less than a day and say, "Oh, I'm wrong." If again, I'm setting up neutral trades or trades that are slightly bullish or bearish because it's hard to be consistently right. But if you have a strong bullish and you do a monthly option, wait at least a couple of weeks, unless otherwise you can be kind of a neutral. So Uh, we saw this in the call earlier. This was a also badly timed. This one is also badly timed. But yes, I would say try and maximize fees at least is another best way to limit that risk.
Okay, interesting. Well, yeah, while you're giving that tip, I just tried to spectate the actual account that we were just showing. And they do have multiple positions open in the ETH options market, all kind of printing in the green, especially this one that's been kept open for quite a long time here,
Yeah.
about 2 months.
And can you
But
click on the margin used, like a number on the margin used? So you can the bottom a little bit lower. Any number, no, the number itself.
oh, here.
This is a area, but you can see the position size too. So the positions that you have are kind of sizable, and the 0.5 ETH position that was 51 days ago is worked perfectly for them. Lots of upward move, a lot of P&L in that case. So yes, they probably lost 200, but they're making 800 on the other positions. This is still good.
Mhm. Yeah, overall they are still bullish. So they did keep some positions open. It looked like that were bullish overall. Okay, well, quickly we do have some Ethereum trades. So these are tend to be some bigger trades. I wanted to go over one really good trade here on Ethereum. If you had to guess what might be the best trade,
Put
in this
selling too again. Yeah, there's a lot of calls. So here, listeners, if you want to get cheap upside exposure, buy calls. I think it's going to be a positive EV if you're bullish. Again, selling puts could have a lot of risk. Buying calls has much less risk. But I'm seeing not a lot of buying. So again, I would say that the best trade on minute is probably also a put selling strategy, like the other ones that we've seen.
Okay, well, you're right again. So we have another put seller, but this one also, yeah, very similar to what we saw. The mint price, the price when the position was opened just 3 days ago was 42.94. We're now up a good amount from there, and so this position has netted
Yeah.
both a nice streamia and a nice.
That's right. About the third, maybe a fifth or 15% of their profits come from the streamer, which is great. It's a 5 ETH position, so it's still a sizable, as you said, bigger wallets, higher risk tolerance, maybe. But yeah, 1,500 out of in a few days. This is great.
Yeah, very high APRs here that we're seeing on Uniswap pools, despite what everyone thinks about the ETH USDC pool. So this is just an LP position that has done very well. Thanks
Can
to
see the
PayPal.
premium. So I would be interested. I think
Mhm.
Base has maybe less active trading, but there is, yes, this slight hump. So you see over the past day, lots of activity increases the rate at which you collect fees. And that means that the IV, at least on Panoptic, is higher. You see a higher slope, if you want, than what it was. So again, in one day, you make as much as the past 4 days or 5 days. So what we see in EVIV and the volatility indices seems to be IV is going down, but then what we see here concretely is a lot more fees in a short amount of time. So IV effectively is higher for that block, that last
Great.
hour and a half. Yeah,
Yeah. So very nice. I thought it would also be educational to show some of the worst trades on Ethereum. So I have two to show you here.
let's do it.
Any guesses?
Selling calls again. Maybe selling a straddle is definitely we see a little bit more of that in on mainnet. Selling a straddle, let me see, is the one that has been the forced loser.
Okay. Well, we actually have some quite different trades here for the worst. We got a spread here, a call spread, but one of the calls is a little bit narrower than the other. The one that they were earning fees on, so the sold call, is actually very narrow, and it started in range but went out of range. So they stopped earning premium very early on. The call option that they purchased at the lower strike was much wider and has stayed in range for the
Short
14
amount
hours
of
that they held it
time.
open. So they were paying a lot of streamia. They were also just totally directionally wrong, unfortunately, because this was before J. Powell and the price went down yesterday.
So
Daily
having
price
yeah,
went
so
up.
this the max profit would have been what? Can you go all the way out to the right?
Yeah, we're looking at around 800
Yeah.
or
So do you know what the name of that strategy is?
so. Diagonal spread? I don't
Or
know.
yeah, it's a poor man's covered call
Okay.
or diagonal spread. But yes, you do buy a wider option, sell a narrower one. And I'm sure if you look at the stream, yeah, it was probably going up and down. Or yes,
Went up
okay.
right at the beginning, and then
But
it went
yeah,
out of range.
so I'd imagine this was a badly timed in terms of closing, but this was meant, and it's actually, I mean, the reason why you do this, that it's extremely capital efficient. So this was, I think I thought more than 10 ETH. So this is a huge position for, and then the requirement was quite low, I think. So you control 60K. Oh, I see. But then you only have 40K. The um, utilization is high, so I think you have a much higher utilization. But typically, these poor man's covered call have a much higher capital efficiency than that. Um, yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but this is definitely not a good outcome. $1,000 in a few days, in a few hours, even I think the same day, almost. But yeah,
Yes, same day.
Pwomp pwomp. Right? Who knows? Maybe they had another opposing trade, but yeah, definitely something that you don't want to see too often. Playing big, losing big. This is bad. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. What would you have done differently if you have 2020
Yeah,
hindsight
I
on this?
mean, this seems to be a big trade. So I would control your size first, and I'm sure that if they bought that much, they also paid a high multiplier. So we don't trade after the fact because we don't. But it might be way too big for what it was, and if it's 5 times smaller, $200 loss is manageable, and $1,000 could be less. So I would say this is probably what the mistake was, going quite big. These numbers, it's 2.7%. It's still a small loss, but because of the magnitude of the position, it seems like it's a big loss. But yeah, I mean, I would also um, not panic in that case. I mean, it's a daily. Yeah, oh, it's a weekly option. So the no, yeah, buy a weekly, sell a daily. Okay, so the daily seems to be like also in and out very quickly. So that person probably wanted some quick action. And then half a day later, he said, "This is not what I want. You can exit." So
So yeah, a lot of people are very directional. You know, people do this all the time and purposely want to snipe the price. It might go down, and they put a stop loss. They close it right. They cut it off at a couple percent. But what's like? Is there any? If you want to play directional, it's obviously risky. But is there an advantage of doing directional things with options, as we see here, with the spread or with the way these are structured for the
yeah, it's all
buying?
about trade offs. In that case, you cap your losses, you cap your gains. You have a juicy delta in the middle, which is kind of that straight line. So as a way to be directional, and actually, I would have to look. It seems like the requirement is quite high compared to the what you expect. Because if you have two legs, it should be closer to the distance, which is $300 time. I don't know, but yes, uh, these are capital efficient. These have some trade offs. You don't make 1,000x. You make at most maybe could be 2x. But then it's an even much easier way to much easier way to enter in terms of capital efficiency. Um, I would say that yeah, normally that spread has a max loss of $3,000, right? So you would
Mhm.
normally have a $3,000 capital requirement. And now I think of it, maybe the UI is a bit wrong, and I know that there's smart contracts to have this. So I'll have a look actually. But if your max loss is $3,000, then this is what you have to put up in terms of capital.
Mm.
And this is how you should think about this. You're controlling $70,000 worth of capital. You only need to put 3,000, 4,000. So this is kind of the best. This is again your 8 to 10x leverage, but this is kind of the best outcome. You have a high exposure, high profit potential, limited loss. That also means your smaller account. You don't need to have 10 ETH in your account. You can actually trade with much less and still have 10 ETH of exposure.
And just a question from someone who has 5 Ps in their brain. Why would I want to create a position that has the potential to make $800, but the potential to lose $3,500. I would guess that I'm more likely to make money than lose, but like, why would I want that setup where my max gain is going to be much lower than my max loss?
I mean, it's up to you. The protection on the downside is what creates that super wide one. And then this is a poor man's covered call. And in reality, what happens is that you keep that longer dated option and you every day sell or rebalance that shorter dated. Instead of buying the shares outright, you can buy what looks like a replicating of the shares. If you were to buy the shares outright, the max loss is 100%. Here it's 20%. So you have to compare this with what the max loss is if you were just selling a covered call, which is buy the shares, sell the calls against it. You have a lot of losses. So here it's just limiting the loss. And I don't know if it would make sense, but if you go to the trade page and we try to create a weekly spread, which is weekly on the sell side, weekly on the buy side, in that case, you could create these very symmetric payoffs in a way that is less. And maybe yeah, exactly. So if you sell a call, buy a call, so this one basically is 50-50. You make 150, 142 if on the other side, 100 lose 150, 50 delta. This is the you pay a little bit on because you have some overlap, but that is a much easier trade to carry through because it's symmetrical, lots of upside, same upside as downside. And if you're directional, the requirement, if you scroll on, I think we'll show this is a different. Oh, yeah, actually, the requirement will be about $300. I think this is the distance between the two. You can control $1,000, only $300. So you could be quite capital efficient with that. But yeah, if you were to drag the long call down, and I don't know if there's enough liquidity, yeah, then you can have asymmetrical. You don't pay anything on the call side, so you it's also the cheat code that we've been using with Rosalie. But then your max loss is higher. So it's all about trade-offs, maximizing how much you pay, minimizing how much you pay, maximizing the profit potential. If you do this on S&P 500 or a very liquid underlying, everything will be extremely well priced. So all the problems of figuring out, is it an accurate price? What's my max gain, max loss? You trust that there's so many billions of dollars trading this that it's accurately priced. In the case of Panoptic, you can look for these inefficiencies because it's kind of early, but you can sell to a strike that has a higher multiplier. You can buy it in a strike that has much more liquidity, that has, in that case, a different multiplier. So you could still shape and create a position that is better profit potential than if you were to do it on an ETF or even the Bitcoin or Ether ETF. So it's all about trade-offs. Some people in TradFi only trade spreads or butterflies or define risk strategies as a way to arbitrage all the different markets, makes the markets more efficient. They earn 5 to 10% per year, taking some limited risk, but still somewhat manageable. And there's a whole cottage industry of people that do this to make the markets more efficient.
Very cool. Okay. Well, one last trade to share with you is an options buying trade this time. So someone bought a strangle and it has done poorly. Unfortunately, the price started at 44.74 and has ended at 47.53 right now. This position was open about a week ago, but the price just hasn't moved enough and it's accumulating a lot of streamia.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, this is you have two legs, I guess, so you can imagine that you control a lot of positions. It's a monthly. Can you see how long this was open?
Yes, 6 days, almost 7 days ago.
Yeah, so I would say that the break-even points getting further away every block is a bit worrisome. Again, I don't know if we'll hit 5K and much less 6K, which is when you could recover some of that. So definitely on the wrong side, they are paying quite a bit on the call side, 1.25x too. So it's still open. It's hard to recover when you are giving away $600 already in Streamia. And most of the loss is this. So you've paid $600, you've moved a little bit, but you still 580 in the hole. So, and can you just look at the premium? I'd say let's see how the last few hours might have been worse. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, options buying is definitely risky in a sense because you want to see move up or down. If it doesn't happen, then you slowly bleed. Um, if someone is convinced it's gonna hit 6K, then it's fine, or 3K. But if it stays in range, then this is a bad outcome for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've seen a lot of
Oh,
good
but yeah,
outcomes.
the reason why you would buy options though, and I would not pay 1.25x or 1.1x, but there is some like reasons to believe that buying options is a bit better on Panoptic because they are undervalued. You're basing this on realized volatility. You can imagine that if you hedge your positions, you can like gain some of that quite easily. But yes, the buying options is also another trade where you can arbitrage the different fees that you collect. But yes, in this case, definitely not something that you want to. I mean, yeah, in my opinion, you will probably stay between the 4 and 5K range for a while. So maybe reduce your size, or you can sell an option. Maybe this is a hedging trade. Actually, this could be a way to hedge the whole portfolio. Um, Maybe so, but yes, I would say that
So
this doesn't look so good.
if buying is a bit cheaper, how would you buy options
Yeah,
here?
so
It's
at
pretty
least
wide strangle.
this is a monthly option. It's a slightly longer dated. And if I were to buy options, it would be for hedging purposes, reducing your gamma exposure. And if you look at TradFi, the markets mean that the longer dated options, a year from now, 2 or 3 years from now for some underlyings, the IV is quite higher because there's more uncertainty. So you could buy long dated options, could be monthly or even yearly, to profit in case of black swan events, but still sell short dated options to kind of collect that volatility or harvest those fees in the short term. And this is what I did at HCC. I was mostly selling options. I was going to be away from my computer for a week. I bought wide options that might have looked like this, where I lost money in terms of that leg, but then that helped me if there was a huge move to shorter uh, that potential loss.
Okay.
It's like the gamma. If you hover, and then this is maybe if you advance, but the gamma exposure here is 95,000. It's dollar gamma. We should do maybe a deep dive, but the delta is quite small. It's the gamma that's high, and then a rule of thumb is that you take that gamma exposure, divide by 10 ish, and that's going to be how much you pay per year. I think 9K per year, maybe, yeah, something like that. So you would expect some bleed through from that position. And the higher the gamma, the more bleed you have. So if it's positive, you pay. If it's negative, you get paid. Uh, the long short, if you have a position that is short dated, very narrow, long dated, very wide, your gamma could be zero-ish at the extreme. So you don't pay or get paid, and you have a flat position. So that's another one. But yeah, that would say it's pretty speculative in purpose, or at least trying to bang on large price moves. Who knows? But yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been very eventful. I think we've seen quite a variety of trades here. Some very interesting spreads, straddles, selling, buying, puts and calls. Hopefully, everyone got something out of this and at least understood some of these trades a bit better and how they perform in a market like the one that we saw this morning waking up to. So some very well-timed trades, some trades that were well thought out, but unfortunately haven't played out, and others that continue to print. So best of luck to everyone on the best and worst trades of the week. Again, we are very excited to be covering the trades here every week. We'll see everyone on Monday for another episode with Intern and Intern's portfolio. And stay tuned for some more news. We have some exciting events coming up, which we will be announcing soon. So stay tuned. Nothing yet. So my lips are sealed.
Thank you, Brandon. I won't slip up. I won't reveal. But yes, this is very great. Thanks for people for joining. But yeah, if you have questions, go on Discord, even DM me or Brandon directly. Looking forward to hear about your feedback. Been putting a lot of work on the UI easier, but yeah, we have a big revamp coming. So this is another thing that's going to be very interesting. Keep an eye open. But yeah, that note, cue the outro music. And yeah, this was great. Thanks everyone for joining. And yeah, we'll see you on Monday.
Take care. Have a good week.